You're staring at your screen, reading the same line again and again. Nothing is wrong with the words, but your brain just feels slow. You start thinking, why am I not getting this? Why does everyone else seem faster? Am I just dumb? That moment feels small, but it sticks. And the scary part is, it happens to smart people all the time. Here's the truth most people never hear. Feeling dumb is rarely about intelligence. It's about the environment you're thinking in. I used to think intelligence was obvious. You either had it or you didn't. If you spoke quickly, you were smart. If you answered instantly, you were sharp. If you hesitated, you were behind. So every time I paused, every time I needed more time to think, I assumed something was wrong with me, but nothing was. I was just thinking in the wrong conditions. The first thing that actually makes you feel dumb is constant speed pressure. We live in a world that rewards fast reactions, fast replies, fast opinions, fast decisions. If you don't respond immediately, the moment moves on without you, so your brain learns something dangerous. Speed equals intelligence, but speed has nothing to do with depth. Some minds need silence to work. Some ideas need time to form. Some thoughts collapse when rushed. When you force a slow-thinking brain to perform fast, it doesn't become quicker. It becomes insecure. And insecurity feels like stupidity. But it isn't. The second thing that makes you feel dumb is thinking under observation. Notice how your brain works differently when no one is watching. Alone, ideas connect, thoughts flow, things make sense. But the moment you feel observed, your thinking changes. You start editing yourself mid-thought. You worry how you sound. You try to be correct instead of curious. You stop exploring ideas and start protecting your image. That defensive thinking is heavier, clumsier, less creative. So you conclude, I think better alone. I must be bad at thinking. No, you just think worse under judgment. The third thing is subtle, but you felt it before. Comparing unfinished thoughts to finished results. You only ever see other people's conclusions, their final answers, their confident statements, their polished opinions. You don't see the confusion before that, the half-formed ideas, the mistakes they edited out, but you do see your own mess, your pauses, your uncertainty, your internal drafts. So your brain compares your raw thinking to their finished output. And of course you feel dumb. That comparison is unfair by design. It's like judging your first sketch against someone else's final painting. The fourth thing that makes you feel dumb is confusing clarity with intelligence. Clear speakers aren't always deep thinkers. They're just practiced. Some people think out loud, others think inward. Out loud thinkers sound confident even when they're still figuring things out. Inward thinkers sound unsure even when they're close to something meaningful. The world praises the first, it overlooks the second. So if your thoughts come together after silence, you start believing you're slow. You're not slow, you're layered. Now here's the part most people miss. Feeling dumb is often a signal, not a verdict. It shows up when you're learning something new, when you're thinking more deeply than before, when you're questioning instead of repeating. Shallow thinking feels easy. Deep thinking feels clumsy at first. That discomfort isn't stupidity, it's growth. But we're taught to avoid that feeling, so we label it as a flaw. There's one last thing that locks this in: treating thinking like a performance. The moment thinking becomes about how it looks, it stops being about understanding. You start chasing the appearance of intelligence instead of actual clarity. And the irony is, trying to look smart is one of the fastest ways to feel dumb, because your brain can't relax, it can't wander, it can't test ideas freely, so it shuts down, quietly. Here's the reframe. If you feel dumb often, it doesn't mean you lack intelligence. It usually means you think slower but deeper. You process internally. You need space, not pressure. You value accuracy over speed. In a loud, fast world, that can feel like a disadvantage. It isn't. It just doesn't advertise itself well. So the next time that thought shows up, why do I feel so dumb? Ask a better question. What conditions does my mind actually need to work? Because intelligence isn't loud. It isn't instant, and it isn't always confident. Sometimes it's quiet, it hesitates, it takes its time. And that doesn't make it weak, it makes it real. If this explains something you felt but couldn't name, like the video and subscribe. I'll see you next time.